I started wearing dresses when I was living in Paris, not because I felt confident in my body, but because I wanted to feel feminine again. At the time, I was incredibly self conscious about my weight. And honestly, getting dressed felt harder than it needed to. And I was in Paris. So dresses for me weren't about showing my body, they weren't about looking younger or more stylish. Dresses were actually about making peace with myself. And what surprised me is that my confidence didn't come before the dresses. My confidence actually came out of wearing the dresses. Sounds really strange, I know. And today I want to share why wearing dresses works so well in this chapter of our lives and how I learned to find dresses that support my body instead of fighting it. If you're new here, I want to welcome all of you. I'm Sharri Harmel, and this is Your Next Chapter, where we talk about creating a life that feels intentional, comfortable, and deeply your own, especially in midlife. And if that sounds like you, I would love for you to subscribe and join me here each week. Well, back to Paris. When I was living in Paris, I walked everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I wanted to feel feminine, and so I had my dresses, but I also needed to be comfortable because I was walking everywhere. So when I started wearing dresses, I actually had to find really attractive tennis shoes. And many of the dresses that you'll see today, actually, I still wear them in Paris with tennis shoes because if you're going to walk, you've got to be ready. In Paris, I could walk all day. And actually, in Boston, I can also. And honestly, once I go to the Midwest, as an example, I don't walk as much, but I'm in and out of cars. And so you have to be comfortable. And that's where your shoes play a very big part of this. But, okay, back to the dresses. Wearing the dresses, I felt pretty. I felt feminine. And I didn't feel restricted or self-conscious. That's important. And that combination actually changed something for me that I want to share with you today. So let's take a look at the first dress. Okay, this is the kind of dress I'm speaking of. It is a sweater dress. I think you can see it close up. And it has very soft sleeves, soft neckline. It hides a lot. It is super comfortable. It's obviously for colder weather months. What I love about it, and I'll sit down just for a moment so you can see what I'm talking about, is you can dress it up in multiple different ways. You know, you could put on a lovely necklace that I think has a different look. This is something I bought in a consignment shop or a charity shop, and actually it has clip-on earrings too, which is so fun. You could casual it up with large hoops of some kind. If it's cold, you can throw on a warm scarf. I've worn this. I'm in Boston this winter, or in Minneapolis it's very cold. You could throw on a cold weather scarf, or if you want to spring it up a little bit, because I have to say it's not a hot dress. You could bring in this is a scarf I bought at Highgrove in England. You could spoof it up a little bit with a different kind of scarf. So you can see you've got lots of different options. Now, I'm going to see if I can show you shoes, because I think that is so important. I don't know if I can, but here are the short boots, which are great, but you may not want to show your legs. You might want to wear tights. I don't like tights for whatever reason, or pantyhose. So if I wear my short boots, I think it's Italeau. These are so comfortable. I typically wear knee highs. Now, I want to show you, though, these incredible boots. Look at these. I think I can show you them. They're from Vivaya. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, and I'm going to try to zoom in down below. Okay, take a look at these. I think you can see them. They are actually fabric. If you're like me and you don't have little skinny calves, boots are always an issue. Vivaya makes these incredible boots, and I'll put a link down below, that has a sweater, almost a sweater blend at the top. They're actually made out of all kinds of recycled materials, which I think is fantastic. And I can get these boots over my thighs, or it's thighs, don't I wish, over my calves, and they look pretty. And when it's really, really cold out and you want to wear a dress, these are perfect. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, you saw my green sweater dress, perfect for warmer weather. I shared two shoes though, and I have to apologize. I'm doing the recording by myself, and I don't know how to show shoes very well, so I'm going to do that right now. The short boots actually are by a company by the name of Italeau. They're Italian made shoes, boots, short boots. I have tons of them. And you can usually get them on sale, believe it or not. I like the suede ones, and they have double zippers and great soles, rubber soles, so that you don't slip. And these are very fun. Like I said, I have so many colors you can't imagine. The other shoes that I talked about, actually, I should get a sponsorship, is a company by the name of Vivaya, and the link is below. Vivaya is a company that, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a company that prides itself on using recycled materials. This whole top piece is like sweater, it hugs, but it doesn't cut off your circulation. I am not a small woman, and therefore my calves are not small. And if I found that if I could get a boot over my calf, it would cut off the circulation, so that by the time, if I met somebody for dinner, by the time the meal actually arrived, I could no longer feel my toes. So these are incredible. Absolutely incredible. I love this company. I have a number of Vivaya shoes, and I'm now buying Vivaya boots, and I think they're absolutely wonderful. But I want to share something with you that I feel like I need to say out loud, because I think many women need to hear it. I didn't wait until I lost weight. I didn't wait until I felt confident. I didn't wait until my body felt ready. I wore dresses before all of that. And slowly, very slowly, I started to trust myself. I started to trust what looked good on my body. I started to pay attention what other women were wearing, all shapes and sizes. I tried on lots of different dresses, and as you all know, in my book, my 7-step program is all about, one of the steps is all about trying on. And truly, this is a very literal sense of trying on something, but I purchased all kinds of dresses and would try them on, walk around my apartment, and decide whether or not I felt good in that particular dress. So that's how I recommend you figure out what works for you. Down below, I'm sharing the companies that I buy my dresses from, and I stick to them, because once you find a brand that's cut right for your body, honey, keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it. Yes. Now, since I was living full time in Paris, now I go back and forth, but when I was living full time in Paris, I've lost weight since then. And I've really worked hard at it over the last probably 2 years. And what's great about sweater dresses or stretchable dresses, even the striped one that you'll see in just a few minutes, they work as you start to, if you're trying to work on your body, you're trying to get fitter, or maybe you're trying to build muscle, anything that stretches is fantastic. It took a lot of time though for me to come down in terms of my weight, and I'm still not where I need to be, but I can feel good. I can feel presentable. I can feel feminine and even, dare I say, sexy again, which I think is really great. Like I said, the two brands, and I mentioned this in the dresses that you will see, the two brands that I go to all the time are Boden and Tuckernuck. They're both online. I have never been in a Boden shop. Boden is out of the UK. Tuckernuck is out of the US. And Tuckernuck is a website that carries many different brands. I mean, we're talking Max Mara. Oh, I can't even think of all of them. But a cross section of brand, they also have some of their own brand. Pomander Place is the one that works for my body, but you might find that something else works better for yours. In both sites, watch their sales because I buy almost all my dresses on sale. But I'm talking about Tuckernuck and Boden. I trust their cuts. Their cuts work for me. And that's what I want you to find too. What works on your body? What makes you feel good? And that you look in the mirror and you kind of go, that's not so bad. I trust how those particular brands will drape. I do mention later on that I purchase middies almost all the time. I've never had legs for a mini, and middies because or maxis because I'm only 5'4", 5'4.5", tend to get too long and they have to cut them off. So those are important considerations for you to think about. Okay, now I'm going to show you dress number 2. Okay, the next dress is actually it's Boden, and it was from last year. And what I do like about Boden is they often keep their bestsellers from year to year. They don't change up their entire portfolio, if you want to call that, of dresses. I love this dress. It is so comfortable, and you probably can't see it, but the stripe goes all the way down, and anything that elongates me is good. So I'll try to bring this down a little bit further so that you can see how far down that stripe goes, which is all the way to the bottom, also around the sleeves. I don't wear the belt. The last thing I need to do is bring any kind of focus to my non-existent waist. But there is a belt, and which it could be very fun if someone wanted, they had the right figure for it. And that is the key to all of this, is what's right for you, what's right for your body. For me, this is great. This is kind of a springy, from winter into spring dress. You wouldn't wear this in the middle of the summer. There's no wool. It's a cotton knit jersey, but it is great for that in-between weather. Again, this is Boden. I'm going to show you one other dress. This is actually Tuckernuck, and the Tuckernuck, as I shared, is a lot of different brands, and this is Pomander Place. This dress I have worn so many times. I have it in, I think I have 2 of them actually. It's just a cotton knit, and they make it in black. They make it in the stripe also. And it's the kind of thing that you can wear anywhere. You could throw on a pair of tennis shoes and go watch your grandchildren's soccer game. You could go out for dinner in it if you, wore the black one and upped it a little bit. It's just great. Again, I love midi lengths because I don't have great legs. And and it's actually, middies are more comfortable. I don't know why. It's like they show the bit of ankle, which is usually our best part at our ages, and kind of yet flow, and but look good and look elegant. So anyways, that is Boden. This is Tuckernuck, and it's still, I know it is still on their website, and it's Pomander Place. Pomander Place, though, is a sub brand of Tuckernuck that fits my body. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. Now, those two dresses, the green with the blue stripe down the front of it, this is the belt. That is a Boden, as I mentioned. And Boden is one I reach for often. And I like that because I like to know what I can buy online because honestly, I don't like going in shops. It sounds crazy, but I don't. The stripe, is a Pomander Place, which Pomander Place is a brand that Tuckernuck sells. And I mentioned the blue and white stripe. And honestly, the first year I had this dress, I couldn't wear it. I was too self-conscious. I was working on my weight and I felt uncomfortable in it. I shouldn't have, but now I wear it in the summer. And it also comes in black, which I think is fantastic. It's got 3/4 sleeves. So the sleeves come right down to here, which is perfect for summer. If you go into a restaurant where the AC is just blasting, it's perfect. And you can play it up with jewelry. I've got my little consignment shop earrings on, and wouldn't that be fun with a big necklace? Very fun. So, anyways, I have to share though that some brands you might absolutely love, but they don't work. And for me, that was true of Frances Valentine. Frances Valentine is the brand that Kate Spade and her long-term business partner created after they sold off Kate Spade and their non-compete ended. It is beautiful stuff and fun stuff, lots of appliques, lots and lots of color. Sadly, Kate isn't with us any longer, but her business partner still runs Frances Valentine. But what you will find is that there are certain brands that no matter how much you love them, you love the way they look, they don't work with your body. And that's an example of a brand that doesn't work on me. For a long time, I have to admit, I thought it was something was wrong with me because the catalogs are beautiful and the clothing, I love appliques. And I thought it was so, so pretty. And so I kept thinking, oh my gosh, if I can just figure out how to wear this, or, if I can, I don't know, buy the right size or whatever it was. I thought, like I said, I thought it was something that was wrong with me, and now I know better. Not every beautiful dress is meant for everybody, right? And that's okay. And once I accepted that, shopping became easier. Now, I have shared multiple times about knit dresses and even the cotton knit that I'm showing you here. And the one I have on is fantastic. Knit dresses are great. They cover up a multitude of sins. I wear a slip underneath most of the time. I'm not one in for whatever those foundation pieces are. I'm sure if you wore one, it would be fantastic, but I buy my knit dresses big enough so that they kind of flow. And that's something to consider because usually with knit dresses, you actually have to size down in comparison to a dress that does not stretch. But, I'm still working on my fitness. I'm still working on my weight. And I refuse to put my life on hold until I get to whatever that magic number is for me. And knit dresses are forgiving. They stretch, they move with you. And at this age, stretch matters, right? Stretch matters whether we're talking about our own mindsets or we're talking about dresses. So now I'm going to show you a very fun dress, and it's something that kind of was outside my box. So let's go there for now. The next dress, like I said, was really outside my box, and the reason it was outside my box was because it's fitted on the top, and then it kind of flares out. But what I discovered is that the cut of it actually worked, even though it was a flare out on the bottom. Ralph Lauren makes this incredible dress that so many influencers will show you. It's got long sleeves, scoop neck, I believe, and it also goes down to about your waist. It's all knitted on top, and then it flares out on the bottom. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to have that dress. It's absolutely adorable. Now, bear in mind, it was probably a 30-year-old woman that was wearing the dress that was about this big and she looked fantastic. That did not work. I tried and sadly I had to send it back. This particular dress is somewhat of that same style, but it has a couple of different aspects to it. The skirt is not as full. So again, figure out what doesn't work for you or what does. It's super important. The dress, the one I'm going to show you in just a minute, a pattern dress that I think is really, really fun. And fun because once I got my weight down a little bit, I was able to wear a belt. Hello, belts. That's a whole new experience for me. So take a look at it. Okay, this next dress is a dress I never in a million years thought I would purchase. And I'll show you why in just a minute. And I made it very springy with these fun earrings. And these two I bought in a consignment shop, actually. I buy most of my costume jewelry in consignment shops or charity shops. They're wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to show you this dress that I'm absolutely shocked I bought. And as you notice, most of what I buy is very straight lined because I carry all my weight through the middle and through the middle. I think some of you can relate. And this dress has a little bit of a puffiness on the bottom. It's knit, it's Boden, it's knit down to the waistline, and this is actually zips and unzips. It's down to the waistline, and then it's a cottony fabric. So this again is a dress that you could wear in the spring into summer, or depending upon where you live, you might wear it actually in the summer. Or if you're in Australia, you'd wear it in your winter. So I don't usually wear belts. I thought this was great. I like to put it off center. Somebody taught me this, that if you put it right in the center, it actually brings the attention to that particular section of your stomach. But if you put it off center, it actually helps. I love it because it has pockets, which I think is so great. And it is, I think they call it a midi. I'm about 5'4.5", and so for me it is almost to my ankles. Gives you a little bit of an idea. And I just have some very plain navy and black slingbacks. But yeah, I thought this was so fun. I wanted to share it with you. Again, it's Boden. And the consignment shop earrings, how great. This dress is a bit of a lesson. And the lesson, first of all, is that patterns, and especially really large patterns, granny patterns, can age us and make us look very old. You know, as I said earlier, I can look like I have a muumuu on. But this one is a Tuckernuck brand itself. So Tuckernuck also carries brands, but it also creates some of their own, which is interesting. What I love about this dress is in the heat of summer, it's lined with cotton, so you don't have to wear a slip, which is fantastic. Now, this is a schlumpy kind of hangout dress, right? It's got pockets, it's like flowy, all of that. But when you elevate it, and this was me experimenting, where I actually, and truly I've hardly worn a belt in years, but I've started to embrace belts again, and this one, flat out Amazon, I'm telling you. This dress suddenly looks so different with the belt. Now, I used a kind of a snakeskin type belt. It's not really snakeskin. Like I said, this was an Amazon purchase, but with a pair of brown mules or even brown sandals, brown leather sandals, all of a sudden, this looks different. It looks more pulled together, and if I had on a nice pair of gold earrings, I think this would be spectacular. And it's actually still comfortable, believe it or not. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a waistline, but this belt was wide enough to kind of make me look like I'm chinched in a little bit, if that's the word, and yet not so wide that I'm uncomfortable when I sit down. So suddenly, and you have to play, so go in your closet. I'm telling you, this was in my closet for probably 2 years. You have to play a little bit to see how can you update something so that you look current. So there we are. In conclusion, wearing dresses didn't come from more confidence from me. Confidence actually came from choosing clothes that supported the life that I wanted to live. And you have to remember, when I moved to Paris, I had just gotten over a horrendous divorce and I was 55 years old. I was not a young woman and I was very overweight. And so some of what I'm sharing with you was a learning process during that time period. This chapter isn't about waiting until everything is perfect or until our bodies change or until we feel ready for whatever it is that we desire in our next chapter. It's about choosing ease. It's about choosing femininity. It's about choosing comfort. It's about choosing to show up now. Now. So if you found any of the brands or the styles that I showed you today, take a look. I made sure that I put them all down below in the show notes. But what's important is that you find the brand, you find the styles that truly love your body. And if you've got some suggestions, share with everyone because we learn from each other. These brands, I think somebody showed them to me, whether it was, I think it was probably an influencer on YouTube that I was taking a look at. So do that, share, because that's how we all learn. And if you're still experimenting, trying to figure out what works for you, that doesn't mean you're behind. It means you're still paying attention. So I want to thank all of you for spending this time with me today. And if this conversation resonated for you, I'd love for you to subscribe to Your Next Chapter. We also meet over on Substack, where we talk about all kinds of subjects I think that are relevant to all of us, and we go a little deeper. Substack is typically not as many videos. It is flat out writing. So come join me over there. It's free. And I'll see everyone in the next episode. A biento.